You ready, Atomic?
It's already in
How's this
progress.
sound?
Welcome to a stream. It's another stream here on the Fake Truth show or channel. I never decided what we call this whole thing here, but it is fantastic here to have Atomic News for the first time ever, and Snafu Snaps, my main man. So welcome, guys, to the channel. We are live.
Yeah, we're here at the Fake Truth with the Snafu Snaps and Krew podcast, and we got a special guest tonight here with Miss Atomic News, the one and only, as we know, the Border Queen. Atomic, how are you doing tonight, hon?
Doing good. It's been a long day, but I'm still up and still kicking.
Oh, man.
Well, seems like nothing but long days.
You got some stuff going on yourself, my man. What a crazy story you're going on with you right now.
Oh man, yeah. No, we were just saying we were getting all the tech worked out, but yeah, guys, this is probably the last time I'm gonna use this setup for a minute, because this is on my home rig. I'm getting my travel setup going, and still working out some kinks. There's a lot to make it happen, as you guys know. But I feel pretty confident, and I will be bringing you images from nondescript Europe. I'm not going to give you all my personal details, but I'm going to Europe, and I will be there for a little while.
Europe bound, bro.
Yeah,
Europe bound.
And we got a big heat wave coming there, so there's already stuff to talk about over there. Yeah, and a lot of Americans, they're in America land, and we're not really supposed to think about other countries and how they do things. So I think that's what I can do.
You ever been out of the country, Atomic? You ever been out of? I know you're in Mexico, right?
Yeah, I've been to Mexico and Canada.
Canada.
It's pretty good, though. It's just good to get some perspective.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so we're, what else do we got going
tonight
on?
we have a special deal going on, don't we? Tonight we do, and we don't have that many viewers because we're watching Marfugo TV, and we love Marfugo and Adam, but he's doing two shows, both West and East Coast, and that's very cool that he's going to be able to do it. But because we have Atomic News with us here, and because we cannot wait to talk about this and watch it ourselves, tonight the presidential, the Democrat debate went down. You guys, what do you guys think about that?
I mean, hard to say. We're right at the beginning, and we're here in June, and it's quite some time until the actual election is going down, right? So there's definitely going to be a lot of spinning and hemming and hawing. It's interesting to see it at this very early phase where I lost count. There's like 40 primary people, like at least 40, right? It already feels pretty sideshow, and like they're not even really trying to beat this orange man that they call so bad.
I think Atomic can't hear you right now, Fake. I think we're having technical issues. Oh, you can hear us?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so what do you think? What do you think about this whole debate? Because I called you up and was like, hey, you want to talk about the debate tonight and watch it and break it down? And I mean, we already know how crazy it's getting. This shit's getting real between people. And you deal with the border, so you deal with a lot of the stuff, knowing how real it's getting on that side. Like, what do you think about these debates? Because they're going to use immigration. I put money on it when we watch this and break it down. They're going to talk about immigration, Atomic. I put money on it.
Oh yeah, I almost feel like I should have popped some popcorn before this.
Well, we only got 3 watchers right now. We're doing GhettoFabulous, but so you got time if you need. It's a presidential debate.
Yeah, no, we're just warming up here.
We're warming up. Fake Truth, thanks again for putting this together. As always, much love, man. And thanks for those who are watching right now and those who will watch in the future, man. And I hope you have safe travels out there, my man, and do your thing. And I wish you the best.
Totally, dude. I appreciate that, and I will not be out of the loop. I just got to get set up a little bit, and right, we're stronger together. It's great to have you here on the channel, Atomic. I mean, just because of the way words are not supposed to be said these days, honestly, the only way is to get together and just have honest conversations, and then things will go organically from there. It's like we're way back in like the pamphlet handing out days where you got to convince people one by one, like, bro, check out my channel. And I'm fine with that. Let's go back to the 1800s.
And you know what's up? I'm Snafu Snaps. Check it out, man. You know what's up.
Yeah, dude. What else we get? We're gonna get into the debate in 1 second. If you're watching this on the repeat or you're watching it now, you will see there's a link in my description box, because if you know about this thing, or if you know about grounding, and Clint Ober and that whole experience there, I've decided to sort of join on that team, because I do, if you look at it, you got to do all your own research, obviously, all the time, but
you should show them on the screen.
Yeah, if I could pull up, because I want to do a teardown. They sent me the thing in the box.
You got your box, dude?
Yeah, cool. But I don't have my camera set up, and that's not earthing.com. Is it earthing.com?
You guys, I have a story to tell you about grounding, and I'm going to tell you on my channel a little more, but I ain't going to lie to you. These people are doing a good thing. It's a product that is helping, and I can account to that. I have my own personal testimony. Like, I was in the ER just a few days ago, my man, and I used it before I went in, and it 100% helped with at least 30 to 40% of the pain immediately going away. It was like almost I took a pill, dude, or something. And it didn't like make it go all the way away at that time, but I used the little patches with the wire attached. And it's pretty cool. I don't know if you've heard of them, Atomic, but grounding therapy, I know we've kind of chatted about it, man. But you guys, if you don't get grounded and not by your parents, I recommend checking them out, reading it, looking at it.
That's a quality line there,
Jim, much love. Homegrown USA, much love. Google, much love, and of course, ground therapy, much love, it's a great thing. And Fake Truth, it's so cool that you're on board, dude, and I'm just stoked for you, man. So you guys, check his link out, check it out, and go check out the product.
Totally, yeah, that link's down there. I would just definitely recommend there's a plug that, like, you test to see if your outlet is properly grounded. If you plug yourself into a non-grounded outlet, like, you're going to have a bad time. That's that skiing meme from... whatever, South Park. So just definitely do your own research, but I'm on board. You guys got to check this out. At least go and read about it at little bit. So that's that deal. Back to the correspondence here. It's so cool to have you guys here on the channel.
Your title is "I Will Not Be Silenced." I was looking at.
Damn it! Because it didn't update.
Damn it! That's how we snafu sometimes. I love it.
Because Restream, yeah. If you guys know
Restream, it's good. It's good. We're getting this out. We're going to talk to people, and we'll get it out.
You guys talk for 1 second. I'm going to figure this out.
Okay. So, anyways, Atomic News, I want to say thank you for taking the time to come here tonight and watch this debate with us. And, as long as you want to hang in there, if you need to go, tell us, bounce out. Like I said, we do it all GhettoFabulous here, Howard Sternish style, little podcast type deal, and tonight was a little interesting. And the first one I thought of was you when I knew these debates were going on. Because, honestly, you were just down at Yuma. Do you want to tell everyone, like, your experience out there and, like, kind of some of the stuff that you work on your channel and what you're about, and tell everyone out there on Fake Truth here, because, like I said, the podcast, I come here and we do our thing, and it's really cool, you guys. Thank you for subscribing to all of us. We're all Snafu Krew. We're all We the People around the world. We're all Fake Truth, Fugal, Atomic News. We're every one of us. We the people getting the word out there. So, do you want to tell everyone about yourself and what, like, your challenge, your experience out in the border recently?
Yeah, for sure. I'm Laura from Atomic News, and my YouTube channel is mainly focused on the border and the border crisis and any immigration issues that we're having. I do, cover some other political topics, but I put a lot of footage out there, like raw footage that is the truth, yo. And because the mainstream media is not going to put certain things out there. They don't want us to know certain things. So I make it a point to try and find footage that really nails down the seriousness of what's going on the border. I was just down in Yuma myself this weekend and experienced it firsthand, migrants crossing the border illegally, and got that footage myself. It was, it was a rush. It really was. And got to see the wall firsthand. And, you see it on TV all the time. You see pictures, but, you don't realize just how big and amazing it is until you're up close and personal right there looking at the wall. So it was pretty awesome.
Man, it's so cool that you're going out and doing that. I've been seeing a lot of stories recently, just sort of tugging at our heartstrings, where it's like, here's a father and a child, dead in the water, and here's the picture. It's graphic, but and a lot of just feelings, general emotions going on about what the migrants, how they're being treated, the camps, and that whole experience. And I'm obviously curious about your take on all that.
I think we lost Snafu there. Did you notice he disappeared? Because I don't see him anymore. Are you there? We're having technical difficulties.
Having some technical difficulties. This is how you know we're real people. I like to bring that up every once in a while. This is not a major network. We are honest, just people that are probably doing. I'm sure you have other things in your life besides a YouTube channel, Laura.
Right. You have a date.
Right. And then I think we all sort of need to supplement our income these days. Oh. Snafu, are you there?
Did that kill the stream?
Yeah. No, I mean, the stream's still going.
Are we all... Is Atomic on?
Well, you just kicked off Atomic, so I'm going to get her back.
Okay, get her back. My phone overheated, and it's, on fire right now.
Yeah,
so I'm on the audio.
Yeah, maybe the video's too hardcore.
With my GhettoFabulous phone.
Yeah, we may need to start we want to stay GhettoFabulous, but we also want to be able to do the stream. So,
right. There's Atomic.
Yeah, looks
so
like
Atomic, we had a GhettoFab moment, a little Snafu moment. My phone almost caught on fire. Probably it's so hot right now, and so I'm audio now, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's just sort of how this works.
Yes, I do, and that's
phone.
coming hopefully. Yep.
Well, we definitely do want to be looking at these beautiful, right? It could be our next president somewhere out there. So.
We're gonna
look at their faces over here.
Are you voting for any of them?
Hilarious.
So why is the screen all hot dog style? Very interesting looking.
The screen is hot dog style?
On my screen.
I'm not sure, dude.
Oh, okay. Well, I think...
Hot style?
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
Oh, okay, maybe it's just my Xbox. I'm on Skype right now. I'm on Skype, and it's a three-way call.
Okay,
I'm using the Xbox. I had to transfer devices, guys.
Yeah,
my phone caught fire.
Snafu is hot dogging.
Yeah.
You need a regular phone and a Snafu Snaps phone. I have an Atomic phone and a regular phone.
Yeah, you got a double phone. If you're going for a YouTube channel, you gotta have double phones. That's the only way it's gonna work.
Gotta double phone it, dude. Gotta double phone it, man.
Tell you what, I'll give you my burner phone.
Well, so what do you think about that? They're doing 2 nights of debates, guys. This is the first night that occurred, and honestly. I haven't seen this many people in the run in a long time on one party. It's like they really are trying to hit Donald Trump here. We got the Indian Warren on there. You guys, this is crazy.
I'm totally triggered by what you just said. That's very triggering.
That's if I had a feather, I'd bring it to you, bro. I'd feel I'm sorry, man. It's just, you know, she really did like do some manipulative shit, dude, on her paperwork.
Well, you know that she's right. You remember when that all came out that she's only like less than 0.0%, and it's like this whole thing. It's like at least you could have actually gotten somebody with some background to play that card. Not the
she got herself in trouble, dude. That's what happened.
Exactly.
She got herself in trouble.
Well, I think she's still the front runner. I mean, we're going to check out this debate, but apparently she's the front runner, at least from this crowd. And I always like to bring up that, right, her hometown is Boston, and that's where Boston Dynamics is, and most of the military industrial types are. And she has taken insane amounts of money from those companies. So just like to just keep putting that info out there.
So she is front runner in this crowd, is what you're telling me?
That's the basic vibe that I've gotten, at least from the talking heads. You know, they like to tell you what to think, so you don't have to.
What were you saying, Atomic?
That's disgusting. She's a front runner? Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. I mean, like, it goes to show you though. Like, I mean, look at what AOC did with that. Did you check that shit out? Fake news. That picture with AOC.
I don't think I know what you're talking about. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, I know you don't. You guys, okay, so you guys know I delve in politics. I do it all, but like, you know, in Fake Truth, that's what I love about him, man. He allows, when we do this podcast, for us to come on and talk about shit we usually don't talk about. And you know, it's so cool, and for that, I thank you, brother. But AOC, man, she went out to the border, or one of the gates out there, took a picture of her crying, totally fake as shit, man. And, of course, it's just propaganda as could be. And you know they're making news about it, but you'll have to go look into it, my man. Go Google it. You know, you'll see her fake tears, I want to say.
Apparently on the other side, there's an empty parking lot.
I've heard the rumors, too. I can't verify, but I've heard a bunch of stuff.
Maybe we need to Google Earth this.
Yeah, Google Earth that shit, huh?
Well, I mean, my new stance basically on everything is it's been staged like front to back, and then to walk it back from there, right? And that's easier from going like, oh, I believe you, to oh my god, this is the biggest conspiracy of all time, right? It just makes it's a little for less distance to travel, right? If it's already all planned out front to back, and I don't know, I just keep getting proven that is the case over and over again. So.
Yeah, no, I think history, you know, I mean, we're in history. I know that's for sure. All right, well, I mean, when you're ready, buddy, are we going to about start this show?
Yeah, let's just roll through it. I mean, we'll see how much we can handle, basically. But let's get the introduction going here.
Questioning tonight by our
all right, and you guys, thank you for joining us, those of you who are here. And again, you guys, thank you for watching afterwards, too. And Atomic, thank you for coming and chatting with us and hanging out with us tonight.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Senator Cory Booker, former
I can't hear shit.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, former Maryland Congressman John DeLay,
Cory Booker. And then Bill de Blasio. There's no Bill.
Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, former Texas Congressman, Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan, and Massachusetts
Elizabeth Warren, our favorite city.
From NBC News. Decision.
Beto.
Yeah,
Got Beto up in there tonight.
I hope they don't put the stream
There's
for
Elizabeth.
this is obviously flagrant copyright infringement. I'm just straight up playing NBC stream here, so we'll see if how I feel about that.
We're straight up talking though.
We are straight up talking. This is a commentary. I'm claiming fair use.
Presidential debate.
Hey, algorithms, I'm claiming fair use. Okay, can you take that in now?
Oh my man, look at that setup. Look at the nice little house and stuff behind them.
Tonight we're going to take on many of the most pressing issues of the moment, including
hey, did you guys know? Hey,
at our border and the treatment of migrant children.
And we're
okay, so I can't hear the sound at all, really. But I wanted to let you guys know. Did you guys know that they didn't want Fox News or anything to be part of this whole debate?
Well, because I followed the 2016 election like a crazy person, and I learned all this stuff. They sell the exclusive rights. Like, it's a private organization that runs these debates. I think it's the Democratic Party, but they sell exclusive rights to the networks, and they sort of divide them up.
All right. Do you have the sound on the debate?
No, I turned it off because I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm hearing an echo. We got some ghetto fabulous style. No, that was it. Yeah, no, I muted it while the talking heads are talking heads.
Yeah, we're all talking heads here.
Plans,
every one of
free
us.
college, free childcare, government health.
Look at that, guys. There was a pretty decent turnout, man. But like Elizabeth Warren, man, like, I mean, what do you think about the whole story with her, Atomic?
71% of Americans say the economy.
You mean with her claiming that she's Indian?
Running for the president of the United States. Do you even think she has a chance against Donald
I think of it this way: who is this economy really working for?
I mean,
it's doing great for a thinner and thinner slice at the top.
people at his rally a couple weeks ago. And then look at the sheer numbers for Trump.
No, right. And they do hide that all the time, you guys. They hide, like, and that's why he calls them out and says, "Hey, I wish they would show the people out here, show who comes up to these rallies."
Right. Well, and Elizabeth Warren, it's like voting for your grandmother. I mean, can we really count on her if we go to war to push the button when the button needs to be pushed? Right. We might as well just say our goodbyes.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
For sure. I'm just looking at the chat. Apparently, it's a little hard to understand us, so there's always a plan B, guys. There's always a plan B.
We're having technical difficulties.
Well, I'm wondering if I'm routing the audio a little differently now. Is that...
I see JStone78 joined us. You're awesome, Atomic. Beautiful, in and out. Very cool, JStone78. And then, hard to understand you guys. JStone78 is one of the coolest Snafu crew members. She's rock, Fugal fan member, Atomic member. She's all about it, you guys. Make sure you watch her videos. She just did a really cool thing, you guys, on water. You know? Because it makes me think these debates, man, there's real subjects that they're not touching.
Oh, totally. They're just going to plan all the softballs. And, I mean, you guys remember that when the leaks came out? That it was like, oh, well, they all just talk to each other and pre-vet all the questions, and they already know what the questions are going to be. It's a show. It's a fun show. That's what you would do on any show.
That they can hear fake perfect, but not me and Snap.
Yep.
Damn dog. Well, I feel like I rerouted it. It's not better now. It should be better than it was, let's say. Oh, wait. What if I just turn this up all the way? What about now? What about now?
What about now? What about now? What about this chick that's on right now? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, totally.
I don't even know who that chick is.
Yeah, let's roll it back.
Yes,
Isn't that Klobuchar?
Yes.
Isn't that Klobuchar?
Said yes. Klobuchar. Well, that chick right there, man, she was on The View. She was on The View not too long ago. Yeah, that chick right there was on The View. That show is a bunch of honky-tonky right there, man.
Absolutely.
Those chicks are crazy, batshit crazy. I'm gonna say it.
You're right. I'll say it with you.
Yeah, they batshit. Honestly, that show should be called Their View. It's nothing but a propaganda war tool, in my opinion. Like the stuff they get away saying, and just it's intense.
It's the most whacked out leftist bullshit ever.
It is.
Well, a lot of people get convinced in different ways, and some people really love that, where they're like, they feel like they're having coffee with their friends or whatever, and then they're like, oh, well, I agree with you.
Right.
It's nice to see her at the coffee table with you. Yeah, and it's just like, other people, they watch entertainment. The point is they got to send out these messages on so many different levels. The View is just one of those levels that catches a certain demographic, but they got to send that message out all the time in different ways.
Hey, let's go ahead and hear what these guys have to say. Can we turn the volume up a little?
Totally. Let's see. Beto O'Rourke.
Necesitamos incluir cada persona en nuestra democracia. Cada votante necesitamos la representación y cada voz necesitamos escuchar. Right now, we have a system.
Is he speaking in Spanish?
Yeah, I did actually hear about this. He busted out the Spanish and also misspoke in the Spanish. It was very stilted, sort of forced Spanish, and yeah, questionable.
You know, I saw that part where he's speaking in Spanish. That's kind of like when AOC had her little black twang to her voice. You guys remember that?
Right? I'm pretty sure this isn't Mexico, so how about we speak English?
Right?
Well, yeah, he definitely switched to English afterwards, right? Because that's what they... It's so funny how well this parallels everything. That happens in television all the time, where a scene will be in Spanish, and they'll make something like, oh, well, I don't want to talk Spanish anymore, let's talk in English, and they'll switch back into English, but... That happens in television all the time, where a scene will be in Spanish... Dude, Snafu, you got me on the echo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm echoing. I cannot hear the guys talking through the headset.
Yeah, no, that didn't work out as planned.
Yeah, so I was trying to hear what he said, but I remember when he's talking Spanish, and when he pulled that stunt during this debate, it reminded me of AOC pulling the little thing that she pulled with her voice. But then again, you guys, Hillary Clinton did the same thing. These guys are trying to get to the demographics. They're trying to puppy eye their asses and just look all cute and act like they're on their team. And they don't give a shit. They're doing this stuff manipulatively. That's how I look at it.
Oh, I absolutely agree. It's the Democrats trying to get the black vote, trying to get the Hispanic vote, trying to appear that they're on their level and that they're connected, you know?
Right.
No, and it's all posturing. It's always going to be posturing. Like, I mean, even if they honestly feel a certain way about something, they're never going to say something because that's what they actually think. They're going to say things because they ran all the numbers and then they know how it's going to affect people. Or at least they think they do. And that's when it gets so annoying because, you know that feeling when somebody is manipulating you, or at least trying to, and doing it in a very disingenuous way. And that's how I feel when I'm watching this. It doesn't matter who is talking.
So how my face appeared over his face in the picture here?
Oh, that was just some quick production value, you know.
Yeah. Well, I would much rather look at you, Atomic, than that guy.
I think you Photoshop my face onto Elizabeth Warren.
Right. I could pull that together real quick. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, damn. Sorry, guys. I wish I could turn up these people so you could hear what they're saying.
We're GhettoFabulous. We're running it. The biggest thing is we wanted to let you guys know the presidential debate went down today.
Someone that's a champion for that.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Warren, I mentioned you. How are you picking winners and losers?
Whoa.
There's really too much consolidation now in giant industries in this country. That hurts workers, it hurts small businesses, it hurts independent farmers, it hurts our economy overall, and it helps
that's loud.
And growth in this economy.
Sorry, guys.
Now look, we've had the laws out there for a long time to fight back. What's been missing is courage. Courage in Washington to take on the giants.
Elizabeth Warren, I can sort of narrate for you guys. Elizabeth Warren is saying that we've been missing courage in Washington. Would you agree or disagree?
Have been making the campaign contributions, have been funding the super PAC, have been out there making sure that their
I'm sure she could show us a little more courage, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure she could show us a little more courage.
Well, she wants to get those works going. She got to get Boston Dynamics back to work.
I don't know if they can hear us. Me and Atomic.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'm seeing signal there.
Yeah, I can hear it. Like when I talk to you, Jacko, and J-Stone78, he said can't hear us.
Yeah. No, and I trust J-Stone. Damn. Sorry about that, guys. Well, I maybe it's those monstrous people messing with my system.
I think they might be.
They may be messing.
Oh, you're one shot. Now you got me angry.
Nice. It doesn't make any sense.
Look at them stare each other down.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can see a lot just from their body language. Speakers.
Who's that short guy right there that's talking?
The little Chinese-looking guy.
Yeah.
It's a Chinese-looking guy.
Is there ever be like $1,000?
I thought he was a gay guy. Isn't there like a gay guy that's running right now? Like, he's all like proud to be gay. Is that him or no? I might be politically, as they say, incorrect, snowflakes, by saying that, but I don't care.
Yeah, no, you do you. That's the key to life.
No, I think that's the gay guy running. I might be wrong. I know there is a Democrat who is proudly gay and proudly like all about it, and he wants to do it. But many of us already think we had one in office with, Obama and Michael. So,
Right.
So I mean, we've heard reports of that.
I still think they're gonna roll that out at some point and be like, surprise!
Surprise!
She was a man.
Well, I mean, I think, look at, who was it? Joan Rivers. She went public about it and then very mysteriously passed away very quickly.
No, that's what you definitely gotta watch out. You gotta watch out what you say.
You guys, I talk about these people like Isaac Cappy and all this other stuff, these tribunals, and we work with people like the QAnon guys, and this shit is real, and how crazy would it be? The greatest deception ever. And she was very casual. She goes, "Oh, we already have a gay president," and they know, like in their inner circles and shit, and then all the footage of the little bump, like I just want to say the bump,
right?
Like, have you guys seen that? Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
Talking about the Adam's apple?
Well, no, I'm talking about the bump down lower, like between the little sticks,
well, this is all
the little
like...
the twigglings and all that, little bump action.
Oh,
bumpy
totally.
Bump.
It's, for anybody in the in the conspiratortainment realm, this should not surprise them that this is an old one, basically. it's oldie but a goodie. Don't get me wrong. You could keep talking about his bump. As long as
I don't know. Maybe you should just turn up the debate for a minute.
Yeah, who's this de Blasio? Do you want to vote for him?
I don't know. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him.
Let's hear it. Have you figured out how to do the sound where we could hear it and it goes good with everyone? Oh,
right. This is the issue that all of us here on the campaign trail. We need to make sure everyone has a living wage. And I've called for a doubling of the earned income tax credit, raising the minimum wage, and creating paid family leave. That will create a situation where people actually have a living wage. That gets right to workers. Then we got to fix our public education system. It's not delivering the results our kids need, nor is college and post-high school career and technical training programs doing that. I'm very different than everyone else here on the stage. Prior to being in Congress, I was an entrepreneur. I started 2 businesses. I created thousands of jobs. I spent my whole career helping small to mid-sized businesses all over the country. 5,000 of them I supported. The Obama administration gave me an award for lending to disadvantaged communities. I know how to create jobs. We need a short-term strategy, which is to put money in the pockets of workers with the earned income tax credit, raising the minimum wage and creating paid family leave. And then we need to have a long-term strategy to make sure this country is competitive and we're creating jobs everywhere in this country.
Governor Inslee, how would you address income inequality?
Well, I'm a little bit surprised.
Hey, fake truth. Fake truth. Fake truth. Fake truth. Hello?
Yeah, you should be able to hear me, dog.
I couldn't hear nothing but static.
Oh, what about now?
I can hear you fine now.
Okay, yeah. Here we go. Yeah, so
Wait, can you hear us, Atomic?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Did you hear the same thing? It was like boom.
Yeah.
It's probably like what was going to happen if one of these fools get elected. Like, I mean, come on, guys. Boom. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah, no, that's basically what it's gonna be like. I mean, could you guys hear them talking? I tend to space out a little bit because how can you already tell them apart? Like I see 4 or 5, older white business owner men types that I already can barely tell them apart. Like, who's that guy and how is he different from the other business white guy that I was just looking at?
Right.
I'm confused.
They all look the same.
Yeah. Well, and
they all have the same talking points.
Yeah, he just told me that he's different than any other candidate here on the board, and then the next guy said the same thing. It's like, well, yeah, I guess you're not technically clones of each other, but...
But, hey, I'm so glad we have Atomic with us tonight, guys, because, you are a woman, and let me ask you this, and I don't mean to be, I guess you could say, manslaying or whatever the shit they want to call it nowadays, these libtards, but I personally, as a man, I feel like the Me Too movement has become weaponized in so many ways, and I believe that these women, we have very smart, intellectual, good women out there, but these women are using their womanhood to try and be like as a weapon, and I'm gonna just straight up, that's what I see as a man going down. I mean, they're using anything and everything as a weapon and a tactic. But as far as like the women on this debate panel, I feel that they try and use their womanhood and use it just because they got tits and whatever to be like to make their point better. Like, am I wrong, you guys, or is that something I'm just seeing?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I'm actually so sick and tired of female politicians using the woman card, because all of the ones that have to use that suck. I mean, and quite frankly, people like Elizabeth Warren and the girls in Congress like AOC and Ilhan and Rashida, they're an embarrassment to women, in my opinion. An absolute embarrassment. And I hope that I live to see the first female president, but I really hope it wouldn't be one of them because that would be embarrassing.
What about someone like Melania Trump or... any of the Trump females? Do you see any of them running in the future, maybe?
Oh yeah, not like Melania. I don't think Melania would want.
Or not Melania, but who's his daughter? Ivanka.
Right. Ivanka. I would vote for Ivanka.
What do you think, Truth? Ivanka Trump.
Ivanka. Well, I mean, I don't know if you're planning on running Atomic, but I would say somebody like you, like an actual American person who's like down to earth and just can talk words. Yeah, and eats Cheetos.
Let's get it, guys.
Just a chill general person. Like I mean, we're doing picture in picture. Like you compared to Amy Klobuchar. Like I don't want to talk to this lady. She's like gonna yell at me and probably just I don't know, tell me that to change my ways, like stop smoking and stuff. I don't think that's not the vibe I'm getting from you, and but honestly, that's again with just the planning front to back. I honestly think they already know who's gonna win, and well, I honestly think that this whole election cycle is gonna just like collapse into some hacking Russian nonsense, and they're gonna use it as a chance to federalize the voting system and unify a whole bunch of other stuff, and that. Then I don't know, maybe Obama's going to be president after that. They're going to maybe do some constitutional convention. That may be pushing it too far, but I definitely think something fishy is going to go down this one, just like there was in 2000. That's my honest opinion.
It's just like who in this line? Okay, this is night one, and none of these people, except for bad PR, like none of these people are even close to coming against Trump. And so it makes me think that they have some kind of secret ass weapon that they're holding on to, such as Michael Obama or someone trying to run for president, some shit like that. Or like, it seems like like what is going on, man? Or do you know, like, do they know something more than we know? Is this just all optics right now? Because what we're seeing with the border, what we're seeing with all these new drills and just everything going on, like this, you know, this is kind of big, but like we've never seen this many people go against them. And we saw what happened in 2016. We saw it happen. We saw the snowflake cries and tears and everything. And do you really think that's going to go down the same way or even worse this next time around?
Well, I think that, we had this, with this election, we had Russian collusion, okay? But I think in this next election, we may find ourselves with Central American collusion. And we may have to investigate the Democrats for Central American collusion.
That's interesting.
Very well.
Because of all these immigrants that are coming in, and I really think that they're going to try and use that to their advantage as far as voting.
Oh yeah. I mean, we kind of covered the whole what I caught with DHS and them signing the paperwork, and I don't know if I told you about that, Fake Truth.
No, I think I might have missed that, but it obviously doesn't surprise me that that's what's going down.
It's going down. They're doing some dirty shit.
You guys went to vote, right? It's like I still think it's bizarre that I can walk up with there's nothing I can do in my life without identification, or at least a password or some sort of login or something. I could come up and say like, "Hey, I'm my uncle," and they would not question it like in any meaningful way. I could totally just go and vote for my uncle. I guess I couldn't vote for myself because I'm registered in the same spot, but
Hey, Mr. Beta's talking. O'Rourke. I don't know if you can try and get the sound again, but Mr. O'Rourke is on the mic right now.
Let's see what he's got to say. I think we got to take it in short bursts. That's the only way this really works.
On this one, just to be very clear, I'll give you 10 seconds. Would you replace private insurance?
No, I think the choice is fundamental to our ability to...
I'm totally eating Cheetos while we do this,
Oh, it's good. That's what we're about. We're just doing GhettoFabulous, get it done, and tell the people. I think a lot of people didn't even know that these debates actually even occurred tonight, I think a lot of people did, but a lot of people didn't, and I just think it's important that we get out there and we show the unity of us talking about this stuff when mainstream media right now, including Fox News, they should be outraged at some of the stuff that's going on in these debates and what these people's talking points are, and it's incredible.
Well, I didn't even know they were happening. I don't have normal TV. I just have a Fire Stick, so I had no idea.
Yeah, no, I gotta copy it right down the schedule or whatever, so we can remember when these are happening. It just doesn't seem to have the same fire or groundswell that it did last time around. I mean, it really was pretty new with Sanders and that whole experience, and then the Democrat or the Republicans were running as well, so there was a lot more to look at. Now it's just these 40 people who I guess pick one. Like they could literally almost flip a coin at this point.
Fake Truth, you could always turn the captions on if the voice thing is not working. You could always turn the captions on, and they could watch it and listen to it. Dude, GhettoFabulous, Snafu, man.
That's why I like working with Snafu, because he's an idea person.
Boom! Look at that, just like a rock star. So you guys, if you can't read American, well, first you need to start being able to read American.
Damn.
I'm triggered.
Triggering me, man. I'm getting triggered over and over again in this conversation.
You better get triggered, because you know what? 2020's coming, man. We ain't even there yet, bro.
The triggering,
the triggering. Everyone's gonna be like, pop, pop, pop. It's gonna be triggered everywhere. Everyone's gonna be like, ah.
Yeah, maybe this is a little bit. Now we got Tulsi Gabbard. They're talking about this healthcare, obviously.
Oh, that's so cool. I can see the captions perfect, dude.
That whole thing is a fake out as well, right? Like, it is so easy to do proper healthcare, and then many other countries have no problem, having full healthcare. I guess some other people have a little more tax on things, but right, you can wander around down to Mexico and get some crazy advanced surgeries and other stuff for very little compared to what.
See, now she's talking about healthcare and shit, like you're saying. Yeah. And what about the healthcare? I mean, imagine if we have some kind of Black Plague type shit go down, like we've been talking about, like in this era with all the Ebola talk and the Ebola, I should say, and then all the measles and everything else, and then we have the immigration shit going down as well, and we hear all these reports in Africa and Kenya, and just, I mean, like it almost seems that these guys' talking points are, they know that they're making shit worse for everyone, and it seems like once it gets worse, they're gonna act like they're the heroes of this all, you know, like when it's really a lot of them causing some of this stuff.
Yeah, well, that's totally the point.
Dude, I want a Cheeto.
They're creating all this division, yeah.
I want a Cheeto, man. Like you better, look at look at those Cheetos, man.
Well, that's why I don't have her on screen. It's gonna make everybody mad, you know. Like,
oh yeah, huh?
Give me some of that Cheeto.
Some of that Cheeto. We'll get some of that Cheeto over to this guy's face. Oh, there's a Cheeto, guys, rolling across the screen. There's a Cheeto. Atomic's Cheeto, man.
Man, this stream is pretty epic.
Good.
Yum. So, hey, you guys, thank you for being troopers, man. Coming in and stuff. And you guys know how we do it. We do it Ghetto Fabulous. Here in a minute, we could try and do some more sound, but it's really cool that we can see the what they're talking about now as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you're right. Elizabeth Warren's kind of talking her mouth off, so she might be the shark on the panel right now, I guess.
Well, as far as this healthcare stuff, I am curious what you think, Atomic, because you know, I watch the televisions a lot, and there's just an insane amount of information going out about pandemics and infections and radiation, and sort of it almost seems encouraged for us to mistake the symptoms of radiation for a pandemic or something like that. And it just all gives me the feeling that there is actually going to go, you know, something's going to go down here in America this year, possibly. I don't know what your stance is on that. You're watching the border, so yeah, what do you think?
Now they're talking about women's right to health insurance.
Well, something I've always said is that you know, in order to get everything back under control on the border, it's almost like something major has to happen so that we can reset and reboot the country and do it the right way, you know? So I've always kind of felt like something was going to happen major.
Well, yeah, like I think you're on the dime right there. I always bring that up. Like those were words that struck me when we were talking about that, because we've seen that go down, and not even just here in America. As of recent, with the New Zealand incident out there, look what happened: automatic curfew, and then all social medias were shut down at that time. Yeah. And we know the kill switches are out there. We know that the agendas are pretty much written out, so to speak. So I think you're right. One little event, one little trigger could cause different ways of how things are ran.
Now, let me ask you guys, like, okay, they always say don't judge a book by its cover, but when you look at all these people on the screen, like, can you see, like, if we were to have a shit hits the fan kind of event, can you see any of these faces saving you?
Well, if Elizabeth Warren had more Indian in her, I'd feel she was more warrior, and I'd be a little more protected, but I don't even see that, really.
Right.
Are you with us, Fake?
I'm here. I didn't hit my fader. What's up, guys?
My fader. Are you talking about the bush?
There's no way that this guy or any of these people would really know what to do in like a seriously chaotic situation. And I think that's, again, you know, whether one of these guys puts in or you know, we can continue with the Orange Man Bad bashing.
Well,
there's gonna be I don't know, they're making the argument that America is doesn't work anymore. Basically, it's broken, and we can't, with this democracy thing. It's just kind of messed up, and you know, we just wrote the rules.
Well, look what they're talking about now. Look what they're talking about now. They're talking about the Roe versus Wade. I mean, do you guys? Let me ask you guys an honest question. Roe versus Wade, touchy subject, whatever. Many people have their own thoughts. I personally say life is at conception. But many have their own thoughts. But the truth is it's a money-making business. It's a crazy business. There's a lot to it. And do you guys believe Roe versus Wade could ever be changed? Because they're screaming about that. And we saw, you know, they're talking about right now, what I'm looking at, you know, through the captions, is they were talking about Roe versus Brett Kavanaugh. We saw what happened with him. And I mean, right now, like every one of them, because I kind of watched a little of this debate before we started it, you guys, and they all talked about wanting to appoint judges. And do you realize how many judges? I think we got another one coming up that Big Donald is going to be able to appoint here soon, don't we, Atomic? Like, I think he has another judge coming up.
I haven't heard about that in a long time, honestly. But I know if something happens, he can still elect another one.
They got other things to push these days. That's sort of like a side project. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about this guy, but I just want to. I always think of this quote, right? The smart way to keep people passive and obedient is to strictly limit the spectrum of acceptable opinion, but allow very lively debate within that spectrum. So, we're sort of corralled into these, like, do you think this or that? And it's just a full-on misdirect. Like, it's a misframing of the human experience, and it just gets us to fight with each other and never solve that issue. But we also get the feeling like, hey, I'm expressing my opinion, I'm talking about stuff, and you may get really emotional and feel really strong about the stuff that you're saying, but you're encouraged to keep it in that sort of narrow field and not, think globally, basically. Just is it A or B? And shut the hell up.
I do want to point something out. Like right now, Beto O'Rourke, he's talking about prison reform, and I'm going to tell you guys, Donald Trump has done the most with prison reform than any president out there ever, and I know for a fact, okay? I'm telling you. And that's what I'm saying is these guys are using these talking points earlier, and I don't know if we're going to catch it because we have the captions on, and we encourage you guys. We're doing a breakdown of the debate, and we're doing it GhettoFabulous. If we can't show you it with the sound, I encourage you guys to go watch it anyways. But the fact is I remember one of the guys on here, guys, and I don't know if it's ahead or before, they came on here saying how they wanted to decriminalize illegals who were, as you could say, desperate. Okay? So, because they said desperation. They wanted to criminalize desperation. That's what they said. And I watched this debate, and I recommend, I'll find the timestamp if any of you guys want to, like, call me out on this, because I know that it's out there when I was watching this earlier today. Now, that made me think of, if you're going to decriminalize desperation, because they're calling it desperation for these guys to not go through proper border patrol. They call it desperation for these guys to cross the border and not do anything and just, whatever. Do you think it's desperation when people like want to go get drugs or rob a bank or do some dumb shit? Like, I mean, like these libtards are talking dumb. Like, where are our laws? Where are our laws?
That's a really good point. Desperation, and then you bring in the idea of drugs or something, like when you're addicted to something, right. Gambling could be a desperation, at some point.
Right. And that's these guys' talking points. They're like, we want to decriminalize when I get into office. My executive order will be, and I forgot which one of these dudes said it. It was one of the guys, but he talked about decriminalizing desperation. Because they're desperate.
That's ridiculous. I mean, because where does it end? Where does it stop?
Right. Well, of course, to them, they know where it stops because they want to say. It's what they say.
Well, the point is that they control the whole mechanism front to back, right? So this whole thing is the reason why there's this opioid epidemic. That was planned front to back. I think that's pretty clear for if you do a little research that
Right.
Purdue and all those people, they worked with these people, and all of a sudden the entire country was flooded with those opiates. And you're right, now we need to, and that's another form of desperation, and we need to help those people. And I'm sure that's going to come up in this debate at some point. I mean, what do we do about the opioid crisis? And then it's that same thing again. You hear a couple nice words like, man, that's hard on them, but they set up the whole thing. They wanted to keep going. They're going to push it as long as they can, basically.
So we got Big Scott Rogers in the house, man.
Yeah,
hey, you guys,
Scott?
and I'm always active with the chat, whether there's one person or 28 or 300 or 500. I always talk to you guys. Let me ask you guys this question. Press 1 if you see that any of these people that you see here on the Democratic panel, if you see that they have a chance against Trump. If you think they don't have a chance against Trump, press number 2. I want to see what the people watching out there think. Do you think, 1, any of these people do have a chance, or 2, no chance at all?
Jay Stone says 222.
2.
It's definitely 2. I mean, if they had if they honestly had any plan of taking the man down, then they would have whittled it down already at this point. We wouldn't be looking at these 40 dudes being like, well, Cory Booker's a nice guy. I saw him on an interview once. I guess I vote for him. Let's cut to the next one. But yeah, Elizabeth Warren's pretty good too. It's like giving, we're all about choice in that narrow debate. Well, here's an unnarrowed debate, and it's meant to water everything down.
Here's something I got for you, Atomic. Right now they're talking about DACA and shit. And let me ask you this, since you deal with the border and immigration and all that, what is your view on, because that is a hard one, all right? DACA is a hard one. I mean, honestly, DACA was never meant to be legal. DACA was an illegal policy put in effect by Obama, really, on executive order. But because it is in effect, and I feel for these people because I was actually adopted from India the right way. My parents did it right, and everything, and lived in the States my whole life since I was a little baby, So for some of you who know that, what's up. But like I said, the right way. And I'm American 100%. I've lived here my whole life, baby, this and that. But DACA is real crazy because some of these people, that's all they know is America. That's what they've been raised as, Americans. If you even, whether or not they're, because it is on their parents, it is on the ones who came through, which is part of the problem with chain migration. So what is your whole thoughts on this DACA subject, Atomic?
Touchy subject, but I mean, not for me, but for some people. But
say it how it is. We Howard Stern in it tonight. Yeah, see.
What is that?
Yeah. That's fake.
I'm just messing with you.
That's fake truth. Yeah, that's fake truth. Bush.
A lot of people don't like they don't like the auto-tune voice, but I do it anyways. I think it's funny.
Yeah. That's our Bush. That's the Bush voice, man. We're gonna have him hide in a bush one night and scare someone. Yeah.
Anyways, get back to DACA.
I honestly, and people are gonna think I'm like a mean person, but I don't think anybody should be allowed to be here unless they have, have come through the process legally or have a work visa or something legal that says they can be here. Like everybody else, sorry, get out.
so I don't mean to put you on the burner here, but because I kind of feel the same way about you in the same way, but like I said, we talk it out. We always be real. #TruthYo guys, you know what's up. So do you believe that they should because even Trump hasn't he's been very vocal wanting to do a deal. They've turned down the deal on DACA many times. Of the deal. Do you think that there should be a created pathway for these people in policy, or do you think that it's going to get to the point where they keep pushing it, the Democrats, as I say, to where he's going to just enforce it, period? Deport everyone, period. It's done. I do want to let the people know out there, he has extended his arms out and said, look, let's make a deal. Like his damn book says. The guy's like, come on, man, apprentice. Let's make a deal.
Well, I think the Democrats only want a deal on DACA if it's their deal. They will never take any DACA deal if it comes out of a Republican or out of Donald Trump. I think they want it, but only if it comes from them, because they want to look like the saviors. They want to look like the people that won. I think they're too full of themselves to come to a compromise or come to a deal with Donald Trump. I don't think they're in it for the people. I don't think they're in it for any of them but themselves and to hold power. I don't think they care about any immigrants in any way whatsoever.
Oh, and by the way, Scott Rogers, that is our very lovely Atomic News in the house tonight here at the podcast, here at Fake Truth Yo with Snafu Snaps and Krew. So much love to you, Scott Rogers.
Yeah,
much love to
Scott? I hate to
Big
tell you, Scott,
Scott.
but the light is still off, and Scott will know what I'm talking about. But the light is still off, and it's a sign. It's a very important sign. And
Yes, you've
I don't know
been
if I'm
talking about that light of
yeah,
yours.
yeah,
This
the light
little
is
light
off.
of
Well,
mine.
I'm gonna need to find some other things to research, but
Mm.
yeah, I mean this blatant partisan shit. It got old for me like at least a couple years ago. That it's just like, oh well, you were on that side. Well, I don't want to have anything to do with you. And then everything is just totally broken, right? There's no way to move anything forward if it really is all straight down the party line. And I just see that as another big argument towards our system doesn't work. Please come and help us, UN. We can't figure this out.
Well, I mean, it is pretty scary. We were seeing the optics of the EU and the UN and a lot of stuff very close to home. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I mean, look at some of the even Fugel, even Adam reported on the drills that were EU funded. And
well, and just
we know that Obama just went out there, and I'm sure he's probably trying to save his ass in some sort of one way or another. Because these acid washes on the servers, these uranium one deal, and all this crazy shit that these Democrats think that they're gonna be able to hide is coming out. It's just when are they gonna act upon it? Like, I mean, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if when we go into a form of martial law of some sorts, if we do get there, if that's when these tribunals will start. If that's when real shit, to keep everyone occupied. That's kind of what I'm wondering, in my crazy head, my tinfoil hat head,
Then all bets are off. I mean, I think that's why the messaging is so strong now, because we are going to have a dark period where we're sort of running through the streets without electricity, and we just basically have to be fully programmed at that point. They really want to know how people are going to react at that point. So that's why I think the messaging is so extra heavy at this point. But I want to go down dystopia road. That's all I want to talk about. But just to push back a tiny bit on the immigration thing, right? I do work a lot with just different artists all over the world, and it is a very international community, the artists, because that's just sort of how it works. You get work where you can find it. And if
Yes.
you do get a big following, that's how you're going to make your bread, is going around the world and either making music for people or sending out your content, whatever you're making. But you're going to be attracting a global audience and then hoping to take advantage of that. And just as a small anecdote, I know some artists that they're fantastic people. Amazing artists, and right, not small potatoes. They're not Beyonce, but also not just some random band or whatever. So serious artists that went through the whole process. They applied to come here and do their art. They had many dates already set up with promoters and everything. They had checks in the bank and all that kind of stuff, and their visa application was rejected. Right? It was decided that they weren't going to be contributing enough for whatever. For whatever reason, the visa was rejected, and they had to cancel all of those shows. So right, with the strengthening of the border, right, there's everything going down there in the south, but then there's also, everybody else. Basically, it's incredibly hard to come to this country, even if you're a European or anybody really. And
yeah,
I
mean,
do
you
see that
do
as
a
good
lot
thing,
of
but
travel. You do.
yeah,
You would know. I keep telling your ass. I'm like, you guys. I'm like, I know Fake talked about it on his show, and we're gonna still work out the podcast. You're just gonna get it logistically figured out, like tonight. We just kind of go on the flow. But man, we love you, Fake and Truth, and I tell them, I say, you better watch out. The times we're in, man. Don't get stuck out there. But maybe it's a good thing, because like he was talking about, the Cascadia and just all that. So I mean. Times are going to be definitely, I bet it's surreal for you now, huh? Getting close.
It's all real. You got to just live moment to moment. Yeah, but maybe the coast is not the best place to be at this moment. There are a lot of factors to come in there. But yeah, no, I was curious what you think about that, Atomic, because I do. It is something that we talk about in our community quite a bit. That is hard for international artists that are not Beyonce to come here and do shows and, further their career, because this is really the only market worth going after. Even if you're in Europe, you have to come to America to get any sort of foothold.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, if you can't make it in America, I mean, you're gonna make money wherever you are, but I mean, you're gonna make more money in America. And I mean, if you're famous in Brazil, us Americans may not even have a clue who you are, you know. But if you're famous in America, the world knows about you.
Hey,
right, exactly.
Can you turn the volume up on this? They're actually talking about what we're talking about right now.
Interesting. Immigration. Let's see if we can listen in here. Immigration is a thing.
We've seen under his leadership.
That's exactly what they're talking about right now.
This problem by making investments in the Northern Triangle to stop the reasons why people are.
We might have the little boom again, but it's all right.
To provide health care, to affirm the values
Atomic.
and dignity of the people that come here.
Yes.
Thank you again for joining us tonight. Much rockstar status. We always love hanging out with Atomic News, guys. If you guys don't know who Atomic News is, you better make sure you go subscribe to her channel, sub to her, check her out. You know, she's coming out with some of the coolest, rawest border footage that we could get. She has updates with the Guardian Patriots out there, Jim Bimvey's situation, and just you guys. She is a great source of info, so I always have no problem telling the Snafu crew or anyone involved with us, #TruthYo, support Atomic News through help donations or liking, sharing her videos, all that, because it's people like that that gets the real stuff out to us. You know, that this is news, guys. I mean, we're coming to Facebook, we're coming to Twitter, we're coming to our social platforms to listen to the real shit. The real stuff, you know?
Totally. Yeah, no, I put both of your guys' links in the description, so you just definitely go over and subscribe, you know, whenever you're watching this video. And, right, I'm super adamant about, right, especially if you don't agree with somebody, that's when you have to listen closer. That's when you really got to pay attention. That's not when you shut your mind off. You gotta keep your brain open, because how else are you gonna really know what's going on or what you actually think if you just reject, you know, 90% of the information that comes at you outright. You have to be willing to.
I've never met. Okay, so Woke in SoCal came in and she said, "Is she like that Paloma for Trump lady?" So Atomic News, are you like that Paloma for Trump lady? I would say they are two complete different little fireballs, but they are definitely fireballs. I've never met Paloma for Trump, but Atomic has, and she has actually had interviews and done cool stuff with her, and they were just Atomic News was just at the border in Yuma. Fake Truth. She just got back like a few days ago, dude. Yeah, she straight up caught him coming in, man. I mean, like hopping.
Boots on the ground. I mean, that's not
boots
what
on
I'm
the ground,
doing,
bro.
but I'm still taking pictures of wherever I'm at. I think it's you're right, in this era of deep fake, whatever's going down, it's important to just take your own images, like, you know, look through your own eyes and then share those if you're actually going and getting original content. So yeah, that's obviously awesome, Atomic, that you're doing original research. We need it more than ever.
So what about all this? What about all this?
I've only been able to do it since I've been here in Arizona for the past 3 weeks. So, you know, prior to that on my channel, everything was borrowed from other patriots, other people that were boots on the ground. So I'm excited to actually do it myself now.
Well, you know, it's the Paul. Yes, it's the Paul Revere days, though. You know, if you're handing off critical information that is being suppressed, and so like you are just as important as boots on the ground at that moment. And for them to help you and you to help us, and just the beauty of unity, we the people around the world getting the truth out there, that's the big shit. That's what I'm about. So to you and your people and everyone you are affiliated with, thank you guys for what you do for the country and for us in general as people, man. Like, it's real shit, you guys. That's just being real, you know. Like, I don't see Hannity or Tucker Carlson or Ingram or Maddow telling us what the lowdown is, being real with the people. Bunch of propaganda, in my opinion.
So Scott Rogers wanted to know how my back was after sleeping in the car down in Yuma this weekend.
Oh, I bet you had fun. Hey, so I heard you had problem peeing in a bush, or what is the peeing in the bush story? Come on, I do the Howard Stern. So Atomic News was like squatting on a bush. Did you fall on a cactus? Man. And did Mr. Atomic have to help you up? I heard you say, Mr. Atomic, if I fall down squatting or some shit, you better help me up. So like, you got to tell us, did that cactus find your rear end, or like what the hell happened, Atomic? Did you find a bush? Did you make sure you peed okay out there at the border?
Yeah. So there's this, like, where we were, there's this tree that I guess is really good for peeing because it's a full tree and nobody.
Ladies, this is important info. Border peeing info, and it's not even for that. So just make sure you pay attention. And us men need to know this too, so we know how they, we need to know how, everyone needs important info.
Did not see this
All right,
coming.
go ahead.
All right, keep.
So I literally had to hold onto a tree like branch and squat to pee because I thought I was gonna fall over, and I was like, oh my god, if I fall over and my ass falls in this like desert sand dirt mixture that they have down there, I'm like, that's gonna be nasty AF, man.
You were hanging on a tree like Curious George, swinging in the wind.
Oh, but this is key research that you're doing. Like I mean,
This
a lot of
is
people talk about
like
prepping.
I can see.
No, a lot of people talk about prepping and how important it is. I'd say the first thing you got to learn how to do is go to the bathroom without a bathroom.
Right? Hashtag
That's
Crucio.
Key prepper.
For real.
And 2 feet away is like migrant leftovers of like, there's a bottle of anti-nausea medication and some clothes and some earbuds that they left behind.
Whoa.
And it's like, I can look over and see like what the migrants left behind in the desert.
Yeah, you didn't know that, Fake Truth. We actually, and you guys go watch it. I brought Atomic News on my show, and I know we're getting a little off subject, you guys. That's how we do it here at the podcast. But we're gonna jump into it. They're just hating on Trump now, guys. That's all they're doing. But anyways, the thing on with Atomic is I brought her on the show, Fake, and we did an interview, a border update. And we got really serious about like the clothing and stuff that they left out there, and they do leave medicines, because they give them to the children. They leave their clothing. Well, yeah, and they're drugging them, because they're recycling these kids, They want them to be very calm coming in and just like, these kids are getting recycled, man. And I'm going to be the first one to put it out there.
Yeah, I was definitely curious to ask you, Atomic, because I know there's weird stuff going on with the children. That's always a topic that we're not supposed to talk about as many things. But
says who?
It seems like it seems like right, we're meant to feel bad for all these migrants and the conditions that they're being put in. But is that just some sort of switcheroo pushback, from the people that are against Trump, trying to throw him under the bus? Because he's maybe trying to get them for trafficking at the border, and this is their way of fighting that narrative. Saying,
that's a big money business.
Maybe there's all these, random children without parents, and but look how bad their conditions are. Don't look at the fact that a busload of unaccompanied minors showed up. Right, it's a bit of a misdirect as far as I'm concerned.
Or 5 men with like 6 kids, and like the wife is not there. Where's the wife? And then they have records of these kids coming back to the States and then just immediately being shipped off, and then coming back again, and apparently, from my understanding, I don't know, you would know more about this, Atomic, but they're not. Like, they're fingerprinting the adults and stuff, but they're not really keeping track of the children as much. Now, I don't know if there's an organization out there that is doing that, which I think they should, just as much as the adults. I think if they're going to fingerprint the adults, why not do the children to keep track of them as well? In fact, I would be more concerned about them, and that's what I'm saying, is our politics and these politicians, they're talking all this dumb shit, and it's people like you, me, and all these other people are like, this would be the real way to handle stuff, in my opinion, I think it would benefit from their safety, and just knowing how many times they've been recycled and this and that.
Well, they are running some pilot programs. They just finished a DNA pilot program where they, were doing DNA testing between parents and children. And of course, it was only if it was voluntary. So what good is that? But they found out that a third of the family units were fake, just strictly off of DNA. So these kids were.
You said a third?
A third, yeah, 1/3. And so these kids are being taken, borrowed, rented, however you want to word it, to come over the border, and then they're sent back shortly after, and the whole process starts over again. So there's going to be an entire generation of kids that are going to grow up angry at America because we didn't do more to stop it.
I think there's already an entire generation of kids angry at America. Like, they're spoiled and they don't even understand what the shit. Like, you see these kids burning our American flag on these streets, you know, and it's like, what the fuck are they thinking?
I think just
what the fuck are they thinking, dude? Like, what,
just
you know?
like it's hard
like,
for
I get
us
angry.
to picture being out there. No, I fully understand you, dude. Like, but just like how it's hard for us to get out of this country and understand how it is out there, I think it's really very hard for them to understand what it's like for us to be an American, right? That for sure, like, we got some cushy times. Like, maybe I have a couple more devices than your average, person from a different country, but there's just a lot of other difficulties that are going on here, and that's right. If they're burning our flag, that's directed at the politicians. We're not really quite in that loop, and that's I don't know. It's hard to come to grips with all of that. That we're just as tricked as, we're in a tough spot here living in America and trying to swallow all this propaganda and make sense of it. It's that sounds kind of privileged white guy complaining, but it isn't easy to figure this out and feel good about your life.
Well, I think we're indefinitely historic. I think President Trump himself is historic, just being from where he was to president, and then this and that. And I think what we're seeing military-wise, border-wise, NWO minus Hulk Hogan, as I always call it, But like, I mean, I think the optics are out there for so much rabbit holes. It's insane. And I do think that a lot of these debates, like, I mean, look, how many are on the panel right now, guys? How many people are on this particular panel? Because I know there's like 20, or how many people are running for president on the left side right now?
Like 20? I don't know. Too
like
many.
20, right? Like 20 of these guys, right? Is that, like, that's incredible because, like, I mean, I don't even think the Republican side has even announced anybody, right? Have they?
Yeah.
And I know that that's another thing that's kind of, people are like, well, we should have choices, this and that. But if you're behind the guy who you're behind, your party, that's what parties are for. You know? And so I do kind of get, and I encourage anyone on the other side who wants to get in the game and go against Trump himself for 2020. But I don't see this happening unless they're holding something back.
Has that ever happened?
Has what ever happened?
Where a Republican run or a party member runs against their party member that it's an incumbent? Like, I can't remember.
Well, yeah, it happens all the time. Like, just like right now, all these people are running against each other to get the vote, so they could be the one to go against the man. And so, like,
I just thought the incumbent, like, their default, like, it's D-Man. Good old T-Man's going to be our man on the R side, right?
Right. And that's what I'm saying, is I don't even think they've announced anyone on the Republican side who's going to be running against him to, I think he might already be on the ticket.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think they run the opposite party when it's an incumbent year. That only happens on the 8-year turnover.
Okay.
Otherwise, that other person is just chilling, right? So T-Man's just chilling until it's probably going to be this lady. Well, no, but I don't know.
Oh, how can you vote for the 1% Indian, dude?
It would be her.
How could you? Come on, yeah. Dude, if that is who they're going to go against, that is going to be the best memes ever in the world. Like, I mean, dude, Twitter is going to blow the fuck up, you guys, with all the funniest pictures, the funniest Indian memes. I mean, she dug herself a hole on that, you guys. I went and got me a kit just because I was like, am I more Indian than her from India? Like, like, really, like.
You're Indian.
Well, I'm real Indian. Yeah, I got more than her for sure. But, like, what I'm saying is this woman, they use talking points. It's kind of like The View. They weaponize these talking points, and then she got caught, and it backfired on her. Like, it really did. I don't think she would have a chance running. I mean, do you, Atomic? think that...
No. God, no. Oh. I mean, again, like I said before, an embarrassment to women. I mean, I don't... Ugh. Like, it makes me heave.
Well, this is just night one. I doubt anybody from night one is going to honestly have a chance. This is just sort of, I don't know, the
this is
warm-up
night
round
one
or something. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think anybody that we're looking at tonight is even,
the
not
next
that anybody
handful,
has a chance, but...
the next handful of Democrats will be night two. Now, let me ask you guys this, and I don't know, the guy who did the Starbucks and all that shit, is he on the Democratic Party? Because I knew that if he ran independent, they were freaking out if he ran independent, because then it was a guaranteed loss for them, they thought, because they would lose votes. So, I mean, I know like a few months ago that was big talk about him running, and then they were all saying, no, you better not run independent. You know, you're going to ruin us. Like, do you know anything about that with the Starbucks dude?
No, I haven't heard anything really on him for a long time.
I think he backed down. He must have backed down. There was too much other bad press.
Did he back down?
Too much bad press.
Yeah, you know, at least we still get a good Starbucks, right? Too expensive. They need to lower that, you know. So still keep your political views, my man. Yeah, lower your Starbucks.
Well, that's what I mean. He's pushing for social justice in his own way, and he's a lot more powerful in that position than he would be pissing everybody off running for president. Like,
well, I mean, if he
got
really
a good
had
thing going.
He had the control, like, of the Democratic vote, and they knew that, and that's what they were very scared of, because he did not want to sign on the Democratic Party. He wanted to go as an independent, and if he did that, that would split the votes between them and him, and they would definitely lose, for sure, you would think, statistically, and that's what their biggest concern with him running was, in my opinion.
I guess we'll see tomorrow. I'm curious what you guys think about Bernie Sanders, if that's going to be the same issue that it was last time, because to me, it just doesn't seem like he has the same groundswell that he had last time going around. Everybody already knows who he is, and et cetera, and it's like, meh.
I forgot about Bernie Sanders, big old Bernie. What about Bernie, Atomic? What do you think about old Bernie?
I think they're going to screw Bernie again.
Yeah. Well, you know, that is crazy, you guys. For those of you who don't know what happened, Bernie Sanders really won within his party, and he was convinced. And what's funny, you guys, is mainstream media hides this type of news to the people. So when I'm about to say, if for some of us, we're like, of course we know this, but some of you out there may not know this, but Bernie Sanders actually won within his party. He was supposed to be the man going against, for the presidential race. And because the party said, no, Hillary is the woman that we want, he backed down. He got played. I don't know how the hell it happened, but they sure as hell stomped on his win, didn't they?
It really was like one day to the next. He was fighting, and then they got to him. Basically, he came out and was like,
"Look at old Bernie Sanders. Look at that haircut."
His whole language, right? Yeah, because he did make this big claim that what actually happened. And if you again look at the documents and all that fun stuff, that you will see that those totals were altered. And then he's
look at that haircut, dude.
Yeah,
Bernie
awesome,
is
dude.
rocking it, dude.
You can't teach
He's rocking that gray.
You can't teach that little edge here. That's advanced hair technology. I don't think you guys understand.
Advanced. It might be Project Bluebeam on top of his head. Shit.
That might
be
it kind of looks like
Blue.
It kind of I don't want to go off on a full on tangent, but I'm seeing a triangle here. I like to look at shapes a lot. I'm seeing a triangle here. I just want to point that out, you guys.
Yes, fake truth is our subliminal message in movies, and definitely the shapes, and we see triangle on big old Burn here. I see it too. Do you see a little triangle there, Atomic, or are we just like, are we losing you?
No, maybe it's the triangle for the Illuminati.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, another triggered. I'm triggered.
Triggered. Oh, yeah, wait. Is that triggered? Triggered.
Yeah, you got triggered just now. I'm triggered.
Right, and because another thing I like to talk about is that in almost every frame of the right type of television, you will see these same colors: red, blue, and white. And
you know,
they will be used in certain ways, put in certain ways in the frame, and
what's so crazy is I saw you do a video recently about that on a particular movie with like a crazy looking robot or some shit. I forgot what you were talking about, but you're talking about red, blue, and white.
I am
and as I'm watching the screen, right, and as I'm watching this screen, you know, I mean, I loved how you pointed out there are politics, subliminal messages within all these movies, even when it has nothing to do with what's going on in the world right now. And right now, you guys, the presidential debate on the left. And hey, Atomic, if you're falling out at any time, you could leave, you know, come stay back. Just let us know, you know. We kind of just go with the flow. Fake Truth knows how it is. So I'm just stoked to have you here. It's freaking cool, man. And thanks for, you know, it's way cool. Isn't it cool she came here, Fake? I mean, that's some cool shit, huh?
Totally awesome. So glad to have you here, Atomic.
Well, I think it's fun to be here. I'm enjoying it. I think I've got about 10 minutes left to my life here as far as sleep.
Yeah, no, and I'm actually right. I can't forget about the international flight that I'm about to get on, and I have not packed in any meaningful way, so I'm going to have to jump off here pretty soon as well. But
oh my goodness,
it's so great to have this exchange of ideas, right? This is not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to just watch the pre-show, they prime you, then you watch the opinions, and then you watch the post-show, and they tell you how it all went. And then you go to your other friends, and you're like, well, Elizabeth Warren is the best. But so that's why I like doing it this way, where we barely listen to what they're saying and then talk about how we feel. That's
what they're saying anyway. So
yeah,
well,
exactly,
we did have some tech issues, if we're gonna be real, right? We did plan on letting it play, talk, you know, the whole thing. But the fact is, guys, is it went down, and I encourage every one of you to listen to what they have to say, because you're gonna know the bullshit, and you're gonna know the real shit. And these are the people that, for some reason, are in charge of many of our policies and are in charge of why we don't have people at the border helping out our agents. Why are they giving immigrants packets telling you how to not listen to ICE or anything? If I was given that, like said, don't listen to the cops, you know, if they pull you over, I'd end up getting shot or something worse, you know? And, like, to me, that's more devastating that they're telling these people that type of stuff. You know, they need to say, even if you are legal, you need to follow the rules. It's America. We have rules. We're a nation of rules. And so I just encourage everyone to watch it. Well, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying. And it's so out of hand. I mean, some of this stuff we're hearing from these people.
You gotta watch your back out there. But right, yeah, definitely, especially if you are like a dyed-in-the-wool Republican, I would encourage you even more so to watch this like end to end, and because right, you got to study your enemy. If you know, I would encourage you to not make enemies, and that we're, you know, either there's a whole bunch of really bad guys, and then there's the rest of us trying to figure this out, and we're being artificially divided. But
well, and remember these questions, and these questions were made up. Remember that, like Rachel Maddow. The people who are questioning these Democratic politicians are from CNN, are from MSNBC, you know, so let's not forget, they did not want Fox News, and Fox News is even getting bad now, in so many ways.
Did you guys look into the Podesta emails at any level when those came out?
A little bit, not a whole lot.
Yeah, because it's worth looking at. It's hard to comb through tens of thousands of documents, but sort of from the cliff notes, right? He was getting emails from these anchors, you know, not Maddow specifically, but it was the anchors on at the time. And, you know, and it's an email from Podesta to the anchor saying, here's the questions. This is what you guys are going to ask. And I don't want to hear any lip about it or whatever,
right?
You know, and it would go back and forth like, and then, we don't approve of this one. And then it goes back and forth a couple times. Okay, we're just going to frame it like this. And you have to say it exactly like this. And they work this stuff out ahead of time, and to think that they're not doing it this round is just, I mean, maybe you're a very trusting person if you think that way.
I don't know, but I guess we got night 2 coming, so I guess we'll look forward to seeing that, right, guys? Night 2, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think about that one? You think it's going to be?
We'll keep this pushing down the line. Yeah, I mean, not you definitely worth watching night 2.
Yeah,
I just want to see what Bernie has to say.
Do what, Atomic?
Oh, I said I'm interested. I just want to hear what Bernie has to say because I mean I know it'll be entertaining. So
I think Bernie is probably like if you pick all the Democrats, Joe Biden, Bernie. So you got a creeper who touches kids. You got a Bernie who's a socialist who wants to socialize like little socialist and just not thinking. Like I mean, those are the only two that I see not having a chance.
Well,
but
and
being
Warren,
the
I
front
think that's why Warren is here in this first round so she can stand out from the rest of these pasty dudes.
Right, I think it's publicity. Like I think they're like we need some viewership.
I mean, they're just
throw the Indian
obvious
on there.
about that. Let's just look at the frame for a second. Is she's wearing purple, the royal color? It's very, very important what they're wearing, what colors they're wearing, where they're placed on the stage. She is at the center of this debate.
Yes, she is.
So of course she's going to win this debate. Are you joking? She's got the royal colors.
Right, and look at her. She's getting down, man. She's
spitting
hacking that
fire right
table.
now.
She's doing a
She's
little
spitting
tomahawk hack with her hand. Like she's getting down, dude. She's. Am I triggering you? I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's what you're here for. You're here to trigger.
I know. Dude, hey, thank you guys for coming to the Fake Truth Yo with Snafu Snaps and Krew podcast. Atomic News, you're a rock star, man, for, being here. And dude, Fake. We learned some cool stuff. We learned how females could do a Curious George over a bush, and that's how they get it done. But most of all, we learned... Yeah, that was a good thing to know, you guys. Good stuff. But, like, most of all, you guys, we learned that tonight and tomorrow night, the debates are going on, and we encourage everyone to listen. Because if you don't listen... You can't you could have your opinion, but it's good to listen to theirs too. Even if we do not agree with it, that is the beauty about America, and that is the beauty about what we do is we don't fight, we don't hate, we don't go over war over words. But
how are you going to know if you truly disagree if you don't listen to the person?
Right. But nowadays censorship is so terrible that one word could get your channel taken off. One thing could get you banned.
That word.
You know what word I'm saying.
Just don't
I'm going to say it.
Don't.
Censorship.
Final Fantasy. Just say Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we call it Final Fantasy. I don't know if you remember that game, Atomic. It's our Final Fantasy.
I don't know if Atomic was a game.
FF, Final Fantasy. But, dude, you guys are rock stars. Thank you for putting this together, Fake Truth. And, man, I want you to be safe on your travels, man.
Totally.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to do the podcast with you from international. I guess we're going to be
posted for sure.
Doing this podcast. Yeah.
Well, and definitely my first video, I'm going to make sure I get some footage from the plane, and I'm going to finally set this whole debate to bed, whether the Earth is round or not. I'm going to.
Oh, how the hell are you going to do that?
Well,
everyone's done
that. We just got to get the right footage, I think, and I'm going to do my own research.
I'd watch that. Hell yeah.
I'm trying to get Atomic. I'm trying to get Atomic News to take me in a helicopter with her on the border if she gets a printer. I told her if you ever drag me out to do anything, you drag me on that helicopter with your ass. That's what I'm trying to get her to do. So I'm going to put a plug for that one right now, Atomic.
I gotta call Captain Vicky for that one.
Yeah. No, you know what? How cool. Dude, it's so cool that we could come on here and talk to other channels, other people. And you're a rock star for coming on the panel tonight, and we GhettoFabulous, but we got it done, guys. And Fake Truth, you're a rock star. You know?
And Scott Rogers, one of my heroes, he just made a very good point that this has all been a live action role playing, just sort of fantasy sequence here, right? These may resemble closely real world events, but they are this was in fact a LARP. So I just want to put that disclaimer in here at the end.
The LARP.
Well, yeah, it's great having you guys, and let's definitely do this again sometime. I gotta get a little situated, but let's do it again.
You guys, before we go, let me ask, and let's see. Can we get a 1 if you enjoyed tonight, and a 2 if you thought we were just being dumb as hell and throwing this together too fast? I really don't care, because I'm going to be like, yay, 1, but I always want to interact with the crowd. You know that. Well, we got 1 with Atomic News, our panel. We got a 1.5. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Interact with us. We love it. Oh man, you guys are so awesome. Scott Rogers, Woken SoCal, JStone78, of course, Fake Truth and Atomic News. Freaking awesome. Snafu Krew loves you. Much love.
Totally nice. Awesome.
Well, I think I need to go grab some Cheetos. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Why am
Feeling
I
the
thinking
Cheeto burn,
Cheetos?
yeah.
Why am I thinking Cheetos? Oh, look at that. That's why I'm thinking Cheetos.
Wouldn't that be crazy if Cheetos just paid us a whole bunch of money to do this whole podcast, and the whole point was to put a little subliminal in there?
Right.
That's not what happened, guys.
Orange Man is good.
Or is it?
Cheetos.
Orange Man good.
Orange Man good Cheetos. I guess that's like the perfect way to leave it off, right? But again, guys, much love to every one of you, and just stay vigilant and know what's around you and what's happening, and just know that these people, I know for a fact, Fake Truth, Atomic News, the people we work with, the other channels out there, is we shouldn't be fighting. We shouldn't be picking little petty shit over nothing, you know. We should be uniting and getting the truth out to the people, because we are the voices now. We are the Paul Reveres, and that's the real shit right there. And and who knows how long this will last, you know, with the optics of the censorship and just everything going on. And I just want to say thanks, you guys, for being down, for, you know, getting down GhettoFabulous and putting it together. And you know, whether we get 1 view or 100 views or 1 million views, you guys are rock stars. You guys are part of history, man.
Awesome. Good times.
Good times. Let the good times roll. See, if we had music, you know, down the future, we'd be like, good times roll, la la la, you know.
Sing along, yeah. I'm dealing with some latency issues, but I can definitely play the tunes. Well, we're gonna get out of here, guys, but we'll catch you on the next one.
On the next one.
If you know what I mean.
I think I do.
And this is gonna be a little confusing to me, but I'm gonna play us out. It's been real, Snafu.
You always gotta play me. I gotta go to bed. And you guys remember to fling like Curious George over a bush.
Yeah, practice your bush.
Practice
practice these things.
Curious George.
You know where your Petrie is in life.
Yes, right. JStone78 said Petrie. Must have a Petrie available.
This has nothing. You didn't use a dish. There was no dish involved, right? It was a Petrie list.
No, you could dig a hole or.
No, we're gonna. Man, we had a good ending, and then we went back to the pea stuff. That's I don't know how to feel
well, like you said, you gotta prep. You gotta prep. You guys, love you all. Thomas, love you. You guys.
Have a good night, guys.
Take it easy.
Wait, hold up. That's the end of the stream. I'm going to hit the stop streaming button. Have a good night.
But seriously, take it easy. I appreciate you listening to whatever just happened. I liked it though.